around to help him stay on track.
Windy outside?
Not bad. I'm ready when you are, Stevie. I'm Krieger, your host. I have Eileen Delrossi here.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday.
And we have Mike Smith. How are things in Florida, Mike? And we have our producer.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. Hi, Mike. So, national debt almost 38.6 trillion. Always upward. I'm reading an article from Foreign Affairs that my brother sent me, was talking about this. They're not all that optimistic about this number. We could be in trouble. So low of 25.3, high of 37. Not bad for January. Sunny early, partly cloudy. It'll be a fine day. In 1960, Oswald Volk and Max Immelman became the first German aviators to earn the Full Merit, receiving the otherwise known as the Blue Max. Receiving the German Empire's highest military award for achieving 8 aerial victories each for Allied aircraft. There was a movie out called The Blue Max, almost 60 years ago. 60 years ago. This month, I went to see it with Martha. In 1932, Hattie Caraway became the first woman elected to the United States Senate. This is where you get a little cheer, right?
What, I get a cheer? Is that what you said?
You get to cheer for Hattie Caraway, first U.S. female senator.
Okay, I'm just digging my pom-poms up. First U.S. senator.
Female.
First one.
All right. What year?
1932.
What state?
Confusion. State of confusion.
What state was she from?
I don't know.
That's the answer.
Oh, okay. Good talk. Good. All right.
In 1967, Dr. George Anthes became the first person to be cryogenically preserved with intent of future resurrection. And I missed this, I was in Europe.
Where is he now? He's still there?
Yeah. In 1969, the New York Jets, the American Football League, defeated the Baltimore Colts in the National Football to win Super Bowl III in what is considered to be one of the greatest upsets in sports history. So I saw the Patriots won last night. That's good.
Yes, they did.
In 1970, Biafra capitulates, ending the Nigerian Civil War. I think it was over oil. Yeah, well.
That's where everyone was stabbed when I was a kid. Biafra.
Yeah. Okay. 1971, the Harrisburg Seven. Reverend, I actually don't know how you get 7 out of Reverend Phil Berrigan and 5 other activists are indicted on charges of conspiring to kidnap Henry Kissinger and of plotting to blow up the heating tunnels of federal buildings in Washington, D.C. My preference would be to blow up the air conditioning, so they just left Washington. In 1997, Space Shuttle program Atlantis launches from the Kennedy Space Center on mission STS-81 to the Russian space station Mir, carrying astronaut John M. Leniger for a 4-month stay on board the station, replacing astronaut John E. Blaha. That name, John E. Blaha, I remember him vaguely. He was a year behind me in school. In 2015, government raids kill 143 Boko Haram fighters in Kola Fata, Cameroon. 1822, Etienne Lenoir, a Belgian engineer, was born. He designed the internal combustion engine. Died in 1900. That was an important thing, the internal combustion engine. In 1892, we have the birth of Mikhail Gurevich, Russian engineer, co-founded the Mikhail Gurevich Design Bureau. You know, the MiG-15, MiG-17, MiG-19, MiG-21. All right.
They named off the MiGs off this guy?
Any what?
What are the references of the MiGs for?
Because he co-founded the design bureau, Mikhail and Gurevich, that designed all those MiG different models.
Where did the MiG get its name?
From Mikhail and Gurevich. M.I. Mikhail G. Gurevich.
Understood, thank you.
In 1893, Hermann Goring, World War I ace and World War II politician, was born. He died in 1946 by suicide. 1923, Ira Hayes was born. American Marine who helped raise the U.S. flag on Iwo Jima. He passed away in 1955. 1942, my year, Bernadine Doran, an American domestic terrorist, political activist, and academic, was born. She's married to Bill Ayers. 1944, Joe Frazier was born, American boxer. Died in 2011. 1951, Rush Limbaugh was born. Talk show host, author, died in 2021. And 1960, Neville Shute.
Cliff, change microphones. That one just died.
Neville Shute, English
Thank you.
engineer.
Perfect.
What?
Thank you. Perfect. I can hear you.
And the author passed away. He wrote a book on the beach about a potential global nuclear war. Passed away in 1960. He was born in 1899. And on this day in 2023, Lisa Marie Presley, American singer and songwriter, passed away. She was born in 1968, the only child of Elvis Presley and his wife. So there we are. So I think the top issue is the death of Miss Renee Nicole Good in Minnesota. The mayor calls it murder. I don't know.
What mayor?
The mayor of Minneapolis,
Oh, okay.
Jake Fry.
Is he Republican mayor?
No,
No.
he's Democrat Farm Party.
Oh.
You know, it's unfortunate. Here's a person in leadership position who is reacting like a child. That I'm going to say it. He's acting like a child, throwing a tantrum. He should be, all he's doing is stoking more anger and more people wound up to do stupid things. You know, all he had to do is, this is bad. We need to be calm. Let's get the investigation done, get the results, and then we can deal with it. But between him and Waltz is sort of not quite as bad as him. But Fry, the mayor of Minneapolis, you know, if he was working for me, I'd fire him. Because all he's doing is stoking people to be more rioting and doing things that are stupid. I mean, if you look at the videos before that happened, people are throwing snowballs at these officers. You know, if you were driving down the road or you were in the parking lot and the police pulled up and they came up to you and said, "Hey, you need to get out of your car," it's not like she didn't know it was an ICE officer. And you know, you could hear him clearly on the video saying, "Ma'am, get out of your car." And what did she do? She ignored him. And when you do that, bad things happen. And now look at the situation we're in. I mean, the officer that got hit, think about it. He had already been dragged a few months ago by somebody in the car. And, you know, when people say, they try to say, the mayor tries to say, "Oh, it wasn't that bad. He's only running over his foot." Would you like a car to run over your foot? And if you look at where the shots were taken, they're trying to say the officer wasn't in the path of the car. Then how come the shots are through the front window where she was sitting? So, I mean, I know I sound a little upset about this because they've been stoking this craziness, and this is what happens when you stoke craziness.
Eileen, you have any thoughts? Okay. John, you have any thoughts?
Yeah, just do what the police tell you. End of story.
Yeah, I guess some more information came out this weekend that about the officer really, I guess, just being at fault. But I agree with Mike, it doesn't help when you have a mayor inciting insanity. And, like, it is a bad situation overall. A very bad situation. But handle it like an adult, not like a teenager starting a gang fight. And that's essentially what they're doing.
I fault Mayor Fry for the fact that there were no local police there, and that is his fault, his conscious decision to not cooperate with ICE. If there had been local police, this might have never happened.
Well, the other thing too is that they're trying to make it out like, oh, she was just dropping her kid off to school. Oh, she's a legal observer. Then why is she in the middle of the street? Why is her husband or partner or whatever filming this to post on social media and incite more people? You could hear her wife saying all this and that, making comments. This is planned. It's there to incite people. I want to know where the money's coming from, because why are these two women in the middle of a day not working at a job, but they're out here at this protest, inciting things. The more I watch this, the more angry I get, because all it is just to incite people. And I think they need to track down the people that are paying for this to happen, because they're aiding and abetting criminal activity.
Well, I think you're right about that.
I know people won't agree with me, and this is terrible, the woman died. There should be no reason. But, most people do not, and I have friends of mine that are in law enforcement, they do not understand the training that these people go through and how they react. And I'll tell you, if I had a gun in my hand and somebody was driving the car trying to, looking to hit me, I might be shooting at them to stop them doing it too. There's no reason this should have happened. Like John said, just do what the police officer says. She blatantly ignored what the officer was saying, and that's clear in the video. So once that happened, then everything bad continued to happen.
But yet it's caused demonstrators everywhere. We had a demonstration here in Lowell Thursday. Apparently we had a demonstration Saturday, local groups calling for resistance, condemning state terror. We have a picture in the newspaper of what I assume is a young lady.
Fru Nkimbeng.
Fru.
Tell them to wait a minute.
Fru.
These people show up 10 minutes late, they got no patience.
Okay, the other thing people are forgetting, why is the reason that ICE is there? The reason ICE is there is because of all the people that were let in our country illegally and are criminals. If they weren't let in there, you wouldn't be having this issue. And they're also there because of Minnesota with all the fraud going on. There's investigations going into that.
Yeah, just a second, Mike. Yeah, Fru.
It's, I didn't get the Zoom link. Do we have?
We have a Zoom.
John probably forget to send it to me.
Oh, John would never forget you. John, could you resend the link to Fru?
I sent it to both of his addresses.
No.
I'll send it again.
Thank you. Anyway, she's draped in an American flag and holding a sign that says "Abolish ICE." So, in my mind, part of the issue is the Congress critters down in Washington. We have a whole set of laws about citizenship, about immigration, about getting citizenship. Mike knows about all the problems of getting U.S. citizenship, getting green cards, not for himself, but for Kathy. But yet, and they've created ICE, they fund ICE, and then we get congressional critters saying, "Oh, I shouldn't be doing this." The people down on Capitol Hill need to sort this out, I think. Lori Trujillo.
It doesn't help when they're talking about these are fascists, they're Nazis, it's like, Hitler. It's just stirring things up that, and I think they want this. They want the chaos. They want this to happen because they want people to be divided and wondering what's going on. And all the latest things is what's going on with these younger white women that are all involved with this and getting all worked up on this. That's the articles I've been reading lately about all the I don't know if they're frustrated, they're lonely, they're they're not happy with their lives, but this is not, I don't understand why a huge amount of these protesters, they're talking about young white women that are involved with this.
Which one of them was burning their kids, burning their cigarettes in the kid's arm?
I didn't see that.
Oh, well, one of the people involved, either the gal that got killed or her spouse. Children were taken away from her because she was putting out her cigarettes on the child's arm. And the spouse was told in court, pick one. Stay with your spouse or you're losing your kid. And she chose her spouse.
Well,
Yeah, I did see an article where she lost custody of two of the children, yes.
So I saw over the weekend a short little thing on an acronym for these people you're discussing, Mike, and it's AWFL, AWFL, Active White Female Liberals. I thought that it's not a very kind acronym, but there is Fru. Hi, Fru.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday.
Yeah, happy Monday.
Morning.
Morning, Fru.
So
Morning,
you've
Eileen.
got a slightly different picture in the background now. You got, what's that, a couple of your kids there in a photo?
Oh, yeah, I see it.
So speaking of, how is your daughter, the doctor, the PhD, doing? Is she in Minnesota?
Yeah, she called me yesterday. She's quite terrified at the terrorism that is taking place there. Yeah, I will call it terrorism. It's not. That's law enforcement. That's not what law enforcement do. Because if you see the pictures say the reality and thank to the person who took the pictures.
Yeah.
Without those pictures, they would have twisted it, and my heart goes out to that patriot who lost her life carelessly.
So.
You don't know the whole story.
She told me that she was in a grocery store, an African grocery store. As she left, luckily she left just an hour. They came there, ICE came there and just arrested everyone. And that in their neighborhood is just terror.
Well, that is not good.
Anyone who says in support of that, if you wear those shoes, if you are one of those people, would you still say the same? America is just becoming what we have feared.
So.
If they're just going into a store, like you said, Fru, and just arresting everyone, then that's a big problem. That I absolutely agree. That's a big problem. If they're going there because they know somebody is a known criminal that's here illegally, that's a different story. But
they arrest everyone before they ask. They arrest everyone before they ask. Even some people say they are citizens. They don't even release them.
Would you ask?
Yeah, that's a big problem, Fru. That is a big problem.
This couple that was involved with the shooting.
I was
enlighten Fru about they lost their kids.
A debate. Some people said, well, they target Minnesota because Minnesota, that was where the vice president candidate, the vice president for candidate came in, and that is why it is a payback. That's a political retribution. That's what some people said.
Yeah, I'm dubious about that. John's got a question for you, Fru.
Fru, were you aware? He can't hear me. Was he aware that one of the gals involved in the shooting had two of her children taken away because she was burning their arm with cigarette butts?
Let me ask him. Fru.
Yes,
John read a report over the weekend that one of the women involved in this, one of the couple, lost two of her children in court because she'd been putting cigarettes out on their arm. Had you heard that? I hadn't heard that. Had you heard it?
Well, Cliff, let us understand this. When things like this come, people will dig there to cover the evils that they have done. If we have not heard that before, we are hearing that now, then it is cause for someone who is intelligent enough to know that they will dig there to divert to cover their own misdeeds. That should not be a cause for discussion now. They should focus on the crime at hand. I mean, that's how the media diverts things and convolute and confuse people. And I don't really want to get into that mess.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to read this text.
Okay.
And I'm going to make it big enough so the crowd can see it. It says, good morning, and also put on a tie, Mayor. Give me a break. You're going in front of the country. Dress appropriately, not like a slob. How about them trying to storm the federal building in Minnesota? Would that be considered insurrection? When you have a media that is not reporting the facts, when the video is clearly showing her driving towards the ICE agent, the media bears some responsibility for the mayhem. Back over to you, Cliff.
That's very true.
Yeah.
It's a bad situation overall for everybody. I mean, look, now you have a mother who is dead. Their children do not have a mother anymore. Now you have an officer who, I was reading a recent article in the neighborhood he lives in. He's been living in Minnesota for like 10 years. He lives there in the neighborhood. And they were interviewing the neighbors saying that they thought they saw vehicles there packing boxes up. So he may be forced to move out of his neighborhood, because of what happened.
Well, Mike, I think you have to add that on those children, two of the children might be tickled pink. Their mother's gone to meet their maker. They might be not living in fear anymore, that she might be taking them back.
No, I'm talking about the officer, John. The officer that shot the woman in his neighborhood. He lives in that area. He's been living there for like 10 years. And there was a recent article when they were interviewing the neighbors that they thought they saw a van there and they were packing boxes up. So he may be having to move out of his neighborhood because, people are saying his name and where he lives and all the other stuff.
Yeah, well, Cliff has a word. I think they call that doxing.
Yeah.
Mike, but the question I ask is, if you are an officer, means you are trained. If this woman was shot by someone who's not trained, if you are an officer, you are carrying that arms, means that you are trained to know exactly when to use excessive force, deadly force.
Yep.
For an unarmed woman in a vehicle, not threatening, means these people are not trained. Are they just village bullies that they are giving them arms to be terrorizing citizens on the highway in the cities? That really asks for a question, and the whole world is looking at us and say, "Wow, is it survival of the jungle in the United States now?"
Well, let me give you a little background on this officer then, Fru. He was in the military. He worked for the Department of Homeland Security as an analyst and looking at threats for 10 years. In 2015, he's been working 10 years for ICE. So he's not inexperienced. He's been trained. He has extensive experience in dealing with things. So he's not somebody who just started working for ICE this year. He has 20 years of experience at least. So, I mean, the big problem is the officers asked the lady to get out of their vehicle and to stop. And she said no, and she says, "I'm leaving." And that's where everything went bad. The whole situation is bad. The whole situation for everybody, for the country.
These are trained professionals. If that lady said she's going to take her number, there are many ways to track her down. And probably it is because of maybe the orders that come from above go giving these people impunity to do whatever, because whatever they have been terrorizing people, they have been doing it with impunity. And some of us sit here and saying that what they are doing, they are cleaning the states of the aliens.
Well, I mean, I understand that, Fru, but on the other hand, you know, if somebody's driving a car at me, and the thing is, you know, the mayor said, oh, he's only hurt a little bit. So let's put the shoe on the other foot. What if the officer had not shot her and she'd run him over and killed that officer? Then what would we be saying? You know.
When you watch the video, was the officer's life in danger?
I wasn't there, and I wasn't making the reaction. And you have to remember, this officer just 2 or 3 months ago was hit and dragged by a protester. So you have to understand what's going through his mind. I'm not saying what, you know, it's all going to have to play out. But, you know, there's a history of him already having been hit by a protester.
Okay, I'd like to focus on a question.
Cliff, would you wrangle him down to one talks at a time, please?
To what?
Only one can talk at a time.
I understand.
You're in charge. Make one talk at a time, please.
Yeah. So, there's going to be an investigation. The jurisdiction is the federal government, and the FBI is investigating this. But it would seem to me the politically savvy thing to do would be to include members from the Minnesota police in this investigation, which the administration hasn't done. So Jacob Fry, the mayor of Minneapolis, says, oh, you can't trust the federal government. Well, can you trust anybody else? Probably the answer is no all the way around, but the investigation, should they have included some people from Minnesota?
Well, charity begins at home.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to bring the federal government and ignore people who are local.
Yep. Mike?
Well, I mean, and usually local enforcement is involved with these investigations. But let's look at it from the other angle. The mayor had already said that this was a murder. He already has, and who's in charge of the local police? The mayor. So I can understand somewhat from the federal side, like, we don't want these people in here because they're going to be biased in the investigation. And I'm not saying that the federal group is not biased either, but, you know, we got to look at both sides. The mayor is already saying it's a murder, and he's overseeing the police department. So you know how that can work. So, I mean, the whole situation is just awful. It's just terrible. And there's nothing good going to come out of this on either side.
Yeah, I agree. So
but let me play a devil's advocate here.
Okay.
If the disease was really an immigrant, would we be here discussing? Every blame would be that he's a criminal or she's a criminal. They will frame up all kinds of things to give a dog a bad name so that they can crucify him.
All right, I agree. But
that's not the case, is it? Not the case. We have everybody who's involved with this shooting is a citizen. There are so many rumors about the couple that are involved in the shooting. And my big question is, do all the ICE agents wear body cams? And if they all wear body cams, let's see the body cams. That's what my end of argument. Let's see the body cams.
Okie doke. I did want to move on for just a second. Venezuelan president has been indicted, arrested, brought to the U.S., He went to the federal court and proclaimed his innocence last week. Some of the demonstrators here in Lowell were denouncing not just the ICE shooting, but the taking of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, arresting him and taking him to New York. What do we think about that? Was that a good move or not?
Backing the bus up just a little bit for these texts.
Okay.
The texts are not coming through. It's a Monday. Everything's a little sluggish. While I got your ear, Fru, earlier this morning, we had dead batteries, so I was running around the room trying to get the dead batteries fixed. That's why I missed your phone call. Apologies. Okay, so these texts are as follows. On a picture of the person at City Hall in Lowell, why didn't they show their faces? Moving right along here, you can blame her death on the American Mafia. All 535 of those scumbags, they're allowed illegal immigration for decades. They don't care about Americans. The next one's directed to Fru. A car is a weapon. Try growing up a little bit. No sense
that last comment is inappropriate. That's not appropriate at all.
Understood. Thank you. Back to Cliff.
Okay. So, Nicolas Maduro, was that a good move on the part of the U.S. or a bad move? I mean, I've seen quotes from Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer saying somebody ought to grab Maduro. That was before.
It's purely political, Cliff, because last time, why didn't Trump grab Rocket Man? Why didn't Trump grab Netanyahu? Grow up here, Donald.
So you think we were wrong to grab Maduro?
No, I think that was a great idea.
Okay.
But grab Rocket Man and grab Netanyahu at the same time. Put them on trial.
What are we putting Netanyahu on trial for?
Killing too many Palestinians. Genocide.
So, I mean, back in 1970, there were how many Palestinians?
Cliff, how many Israelis got killed on the beach?
Oh, I don't know, 1,100?
Okay. And how many Palestinians got killed in the war? 150,000.
I'm not sure I believe that number.
Okay, well, I'll go ask Google just for fun.
I don't know if I believe
I know
Google.
you're sticking up for Netanyahu, but why not put him on trial? He's got nothing to hide.
So anyway...
How about Rocket Man, starving his people to death? Put him on trial.
Back in 1970, there were 340,000 people in Gaza. 2021, there were 2,100,000 people in Gaza. So if they've been doing genocide, they've not been doing a very good job of it.
Yeah, the population is 7 times larger.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so...
Well, they don't have cable.
Mike, the producers sort of dominating this question.
I beg to disagree with you. Those are the arguments that shows that humans are very inhuman in calculating numbers.
How's that?
Huh?
How's that?
Well, if the population grows, do you want to decrease the population because the population is growing? Because that's a Western mentality, and it is the same thing that they do in the third world. That the population of the third world is rising in quadruple and all whatnot. What the West talks more about is population, decreasing population. Grow your own population. It's not the third world. It's not the global south that makes the global north population not increasing.
Yeah, well, I was just talking about it as genocide against the people in Gaza with the population growing.
Here's today's number.
When you say the population growing, that means the amount of people that are being killed is negligible. That people should not think that when people die there, it's normal. You are normalizing evil.
They're
Well-
saying in 24, 60,000 were killed, and in 23, 22,000 were killed.
Okay.
So that's this week's numbers.
And does Hamas play no role in this for continuing the war?
I'm just saying we should put Netanyahu on trial. That's all I'm saying.
I don't agree with you.
Okay.
But let's see what Fru said.
I think John is bringing a good point, the comparison. And if I'm just talking of what I listened to American experts debate, they said they have calculated about 5 or 6 presidents that we have kidnapped. Panama, Iraq, Haiti, then Venezuela, and I forget the other one. Just imagine if this had been the Soviet Union kidnapping us. How would you feel? When we are going to these places, we say we are going there with democracy. These places that are named, later on we accept our mistakes. That if we blunder, it will never happen again. Is there democracy in this area? No. So, I mean, great powers should know that history can repeat itself. If you remember Napoleon Bonaparte, he went around the world doing everything and ended up, he was exiled to St. Helena where he died there miserable. So these things, it makes we Americans traveling abroad with an American passport, I mean, our security is not really guaranteed, even though some people may celebrate it. We don't look at the ramifications of the average American that's traveling around the world and carrying our passport.
A text from the audience says, home run, Mr. McD. Why didn't the USA go after the Saudi people after 9/11? Good point. Back over to Cliff.
Okay.
I look at the bigger picture, I think, with this thing with Venezuela. They talk about, we took Maduro and the oil, but I really think in some ways the reason for this is they're concerned about the influence of Russia, China, and Cuba in here in South America. Up until recently, the U.S. never worried about their influence here. So I think that's driving some of this, is they want to keep Russia and China and Cuba out of those areas. Now, we can talk about, the moral part and all the other things that go with it, but I think that's driving this. They're talking in the news about the oil, but I really think that part of the reason they're doing some of this now is because of Russia and China and Iran all starting to have more influence down there. And, I know they're talking about the oil, but I think it's more they're concerned about the countries that we have adversaries with.
Well, Mike, to say something about your point, if you remember in 1821 about the Monroe Doctrine, if you know what the Monroe Doctrine, that's what
Yes.
the Monroe Doctrine kept the Europeans and all others from interfering in the Americas.
Yep.
When we are in Asia, we are in Africa, we are everywhere. We are in, is it Thailand or whatever? And then if you are saying that, and China is, I was listening to these experts, they said China has invested for almost 30 years a lot of investment there. And their investment in their contract, it was that no matter the change of government, their contracts will hold. So that is where the U.S. will have to be battling with China.
No, I don't disagree with you. That's why I'm bringing it up, Fru. I think the real thing is influence. So I think that's why
We're having some Zoom problems.
They're looking into this
I
differently
agree with
now
you,
than
but
they
the
did
big
before.
thing can just be temporal because it may settle in court and it may.
So, I'd like to shift to Iran for a minute. A lot of people have died in Iran, including Zoom, apparently.
Just keep going, Cliff.
Yeah. So Iran, there's. I learned something in reading about Iran. That is not a uniform population of Iranian 12ers. They're only about half the population in that nation. But this is a big uprising going on, I think. And it even got to a big demonstration in L.A. where some guy drove into the crowd with his truck. He did not injure anybody, but he did get arrested for driving his truck into the crowd. And he was saying, don't repeat 1953, don't bring back the Shah, don't have mullahs, have something else. What do we think about the situation in Iran?
I'm going to read this. I sent him a text to call your cell phone, Cliff. We'll see if they do. And put this up there. Another question. What's going to happen when President Trump is not in office anymore? That's in 3 years. Would another leader have the stones to stick up for the country? Interesting question. Back over to you, Cliff.
Well, it is kind of, Trump seems to have a let's enforce the law attitude, and President Biden seemed to have the law's inconvenient, we'll waive it and make other arrangements. Those are two contrasting ways of looking at things. So, Zoom has died and no one has called.
I'm going to text them now, Cliff.
All right.
Cliff?
Oh, yeah, there's Fru. Go ahead, Fru.
I was saying that have you the breaking news coming out of Germany from the president of German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier? In quotes, he says that there is a breakdown of value by our most important partner, the United States, which helped build this world order. Steinmeier said clearly, referring to the illegal kidnapping of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro by Trump and threats of seizing Greenland.
Well,
those are our partners in Europe.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Trump's seized Greenland yet. I think that's a distraction that he's dangling in front of the Europeans, driving them crazy.
No, but it is making some people hard that we are. I mean, when you see great empires start doing this, you look at history. The Soviet Union, the Austro-Hungarian Empire, the Prussian Empire, the Napoleonic Wars, and all those.
Okay, but
I mean the Turkish Empire, and all those. There is a point whereby when they lose their focus, I don't know. I'm getting this from the experts.
Well, I tend to agree with you. If you look at history, you look at the Greeks, the Romans, the British Empire, they said that, they've studied it, and they said it's about a 300 to 500 year cycle. And they said, after what happened, the Greeks started out, and then all the politicians got involved. The Romans and all the politicians got involved. The British Empire, all the politicians got involved. So that's what worries me more about the United States is the politicians now, it's, like nobody can work together. Everybody has got their own agenda, and I don't think either party right now is always looking out for the best interests of the United States citizens. So I keep watching it, but I don't like the way the cycle's going.
I think you summarize it better, Mike.
Okay, so Iran, hundreds have been killed by the Iranian government. Do we think Iran's going to fall and a new government's going to come up?
Well, I mean, this is a bigger protest than before. I know some, like you said, some people have been killed. We'll see. We'll see how long it lasts and how much the people put pressure on the Ayatollah, because unless they can get him out of power or get the people that are with him out of power, it's just going to go back to the way it was in Iran. I mean, the people who run it there. They only care about one thing. It's either you're with them or against them, and that's until the people can get them out of power, nothing's going to change in Iran. If they want something changed.
Fru, you got any thoughts on this?
We are sitting here planning on how a change of government in another country.
Tell them to mute Zoom.
We are using the media as usual to hype up everything. It's not
Fru,
our own media that is propping up.
Fru,
yes.
You gotta mute Zoom.
Oh, I did.
Because I have you on the phone.
No, you're zooming in on your kids now.
Can you get me?
Yes.
Oh, I should have muted my phone.
Okay, go ahead with your...
No, what I said that...
Whoops, now you've muted Zoom, too.
Tell him to leave his phone on only. Unmute your phone.
Okay, Fru, unmute your phone and mute Zoom. Let's try that.
I mute my...
We got you now, Fru. Proceed.
Is it clear now?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was saying that we watch the media, which is geared to hyping us locally here. We are not the Iranians. It's more or less like when people are here, they will say some things about Africa and things like that. Let me just give you a good example. Our media has never carried anything good about the countries that's going on in the Sahel. Because ever since, and even we have never, I don't even know why you have never brought that for us to also discuss. Ever since they kick the French out and kick the most of the other foreigners out and took control of their resources, they have built roads, they have built industries, they have built everything, but you listen to what the West is saying, that they are a junta, they are this and that. And for that young president of Burkina Faso, for 2 years, he has survived 27 coups coming from outside. Would you believe what the media says about these countries? Because we deem them our enemy. Because if they don't listen to our dictates, there's a dictator in Cameroon who's been there for 43 years. We don't talk about them because he's a yes person, he's a tool in the hands of France and the others.
Well, I had thought when I was putting my notes together about asking how things are going in Amazonia this week, but these other things kind of pushed that aside.
No, we can discuss that next week.
Next week. All right, but what happens with the government in Iran seems important to me because Iran plays such a big role in what's going on in the Middle East. I mean, Iran's the fifth largest country in Asia, right?
Yes, and by what you are saying means what is going on in Iran is encouraged and promoted by outsiders. So I mean, if we are celebrating and looking at what should implode in there, means it is the invisible hand that is generating that, not something natural. If the country has survived sanctions and all other embargoes and everything, means the people love their country.
Yeah.
Would you equally tell us that the Venezuelans, they like what is going on? If not those security guys, people who are charged to secure the president, who sold the nation for money, and that is treason.
Yeah, except I'm not sure that Iran is the result of outside agitation. I think it could be that the people were unhappy. I think that there were people in Venezuela that were unhappy. There are Venezuelans who have migrated to the United States who are very happy that Maduro's gone, and a hope of a change in direction in Venezuela.
Well, let's give them about 5 years in this country, and if they will be still happy again.
All right.
Well, if we don't start getting people to vote, America's going the way of Venezuela.
Okay.
People don't vote. The Democrats only want Democrats to vote. The Republicans only want Republicans to vote. They don't care about America. Neither party. The independents have got to get out and vote. And what's it going to take to make them get out and vote?
I don't know. So, I did want to go domestic for 1 minute. The Supreme Court's got a hearing today on the issue of transgendered in sports, the high school, college, that level sports. Does anybody have any thoughts on that?
Can I use the ladies' room now?
What?
You asked the question. Can I use the ladies' room now? We're going to go to Breakland. Fru, you going to skedaddle or you going to stay?
I have to put food on the table, John. I have to skip out.
Thanks, Fru. See you next week. We'll be back.
All right. Have a good one.
You too, Fru. Okay, Fru. Have a good day.
And John, just so you know, I should be there in about 5 minutes. I don't know if the door's open or not.
It's not. I'll go unlock the door. I'm gonna unlock the door.
Okay, so you might consider driving little Eileen or little Cliff to school today. It's 27 degrees, and the wind is whipping out there. That's the flagpole in front of the Rogers School. If you wonder why the flag's at half-mast, it's because of the officer that died in the line of duty out in the western part of the state, killed by a freak accident with a tractor-trailer. So that's why we're running the flag half-mast. But 27 degrees out there. Please drive little Cliff or little Eileen to school today. Thanks.
Supposed to be a high of like 62 today. Actually,
these are 60, very, very low 60s. So it's going to be pretty cool in Florida, too. I didn't say cold, I said cool. So
So the back door is unlocked.
Thank you. I don't feel bad for it being cool. Better here than it was last week at this time, though.
Haven't you introduced the new show, John?
No, I did not. Let's talk about the wind.
Okay, well, everyone, welcome to City Life Show here in Lowell, Massachusetts, and the surrounding communities. I'm Cliff Krieger, your host. Eileen, my co-host, is en route for physical presence. She should be here in about 2 minutes. We have Mike Smith down in Florida, where the temperatures are much more pleasant than they are up here. And of course, we have our producer, John McDonough. And the topic the previous program started to discuss and never got around to finishing.
Ask Mike what's his treat.
What's your treat, Mike?
what's that now? My treat?
Yeah, John wants to know what your treat is.
Oh, that I like?
You just finished eating something.
No, I'm not eating anything now, but my favorite treat is peanut M&Ms. I like peanut M&Ms. They actually had those on the cruise, so I would go to the where they had the ice cream, and instead of getting ice cream, I just had put the little container, put a bunch of peanut M&Ms, so I could snack on those.
All right, I got the rogue noises coming from Eileen.
All right. I always think of Eileen as sort of a rogue, so yeah, that makes sense. So the question is, the Supreme Court's going to consider, do we allow transgenders in the sports that they want to transgender to? Should physical males who see themselves as female be allowed to play in female sports? And the Supreme Court's going to talk about that today. You got any thoughts on that, Mike?
Yeah, I looked at a number. I was watching a number of news broadcasts and reading articles on it, and I think that it's going to be they're going to rule against transgenders in women's sports. It'll probably be 6-3. I'm hoping that it would be 9-0, but I don't see that happening. But I would be shocked if that did happen. But you know, women, it's entirely unfair to women that men who say, "Oh, I'm female now," can compete in their sports. There's a reason why we have men's sports and we have women's sports, because they're not the same. And if they're that concerned about competing in sports, then find a transgender division. That's the way I look at it. You know, it's not saying they can't compete in sports. If they're that concerned, then make a new transgender division. If there's enough people to compete in that. But this is entirely unfair to women. I mean, if I had a daughter that was in high school, say 14, 15 years old, I would not want a high school boy who's 17 or 18 going into the locker room undressing in front of my daughter. I mean, it's just not right. And it's not fair in sports. I mean, you look at track and field, you look at swimming. Every time they go into these sports, they're better than the women. And it's just not fair competition.
Yeah, I agree with you that it is unfair competition, and I like your idea about create a third category of transgender people. And
I mean, sorry, Cliff.
Yeah.
And they're also, this is there's a lot of lives that are affected by this, because the transgenders, if they win in the sport, they could be taking away an opportunity to go to college for some of these girls, because that may be the only way that they had an opportunity to go to college. They may not have the finances or other things to get a college degree. And, they put a lot of work and time into this, and then to be unfairly loose in something, that's just not right. And the transgender population is not as big as people think it is. This is a very, very small minority that is affecting a very, very large group of people, and that's it's just not right, and it's not fair. The biggest thing is it's not fair, and also it's I feel it's demeaning to women when they have why do they have to put up with that? A man coming into a woman's locker room. There's a reason why we have men's and women's locker rooms, or men's and women's bathrooms, for privacy and all that for people. So, I mean, it's just not right. And what's sad is we have to take this to the Supreme Court to get a decision on this. It's like people have lost all common sense and lost their minds on what's right and what's not right. And I'm very confident the Supreme Court is going to rule against transgenders in women's sports. I'm very confident. It's just on what how many judges are going to vote to do that. Is it going to be 6-3? Is it going to be 7-2? Or is it going to be 9-0? I think that they need to be 9-0 to send a very, very strong message that this is not going to be tolerated.
what do you think, Eileen?
Wait a second, I got two texts here. So let me get these two texts out of the way.
If you have
Where do I get these two texts out of the way? Oh, you're going to read them? Good. Go right ahead.
If you have the plumbing of a man, then you belong in the men's locker room. Jay, good point. And that's the one in City Hall. It's hard to move on from sharing bathrooms when you see signs like this. Oh, right. Why is that? Oh, because that's like a split, like you're both male and female.
But the thing is, in City Hall, they got doors on all the stalls.
I do like the design, I must say.
Yeah.
It's classy. So yeah, everyone has privacy. But what about
I think they do some of that in Europe, that they have multi-use rooms there, bathrooms, where they all have separate stalls. I just wanted to point something out that Kathy mentioned to me just now. She goes, if it ends up 6-3, the three people that are going to dissent are all women. So, I mean, it's just, they're looking at probably the three people, if they dissent, if it's 6-3, are going to be women. So, I mean, how are they standing up for women's rights then?
Yeah, that's a good question. Eileen, you want to finish this up?
It's all just very confusing, and it's disrupting to have a child in a bathroom where somebody, like if you have a young girl and somebody with the male plumbing goes in, it's just uncomfortable, and people should just use common sense and do the right thing. But I guess that's been thrown out the window to boot. And I do agree that it should be men's sports, women's sports, transgender sports.
Yep. So over the weekend we had more demonstrations in front of City Hall.
I guess so. Did you buy more signs for them?
No,
No.
I did not.
Cliff, how many people live in the city?
I don't know, 130,000.
You're talking about 50 people got together? There are weddings larger than the assembly in front of City Hall. Why are you giving it such airtime?
Because it represents a additional view in the city, and I want to know what everyone's thinking.
Cliff, even I got a text to go to that thing. You didn't get a text to go to that? I got a text to go.
No, I didn't get it. Well, maybe I did get a text.
I got a text to go to it.
Who
Go
is
to
it?
City Hall. Go to City Hall.
I get lots of texts from people I have no idea who they are. I'll go back and look. I've got about a dozen texts I haven't looked at.
You were probably invited, didn't know.
Yeah.
Eileen, you get a text to go? Okay.
No. This weekend went by so fast. I even forget what I did. But yeah, I've had quite a morning already. I went to go get Anthony donuts for Monday morning donut morning, and I'm at the Bridge Street Dunkin' Donuts, and a girl comes in and she's like, I hate this parking lot. People don't even know how to park. And I'm like, that would be me, because I have an astigmatism and I can never park right. I always park super crooked, and that parking lot is the worst. So I felt so bad that I left the donuts right near the straws. And I went home and I was like, I left the donuts because I thought that girl was going to unleash on me.
Well, we'll give you A for effort.
Yeah, so I went back, and the donuts were still there, and I shared my story with them. And my phone fell in my car, and I had to stick my hand in, like, under the seat, and I almost broke my hand off in the parking lot. I'm like, I'm not winning, so I'm hoping this City Life show resets my day, because I need my day to be reset already.
But
Well, I'll ask the question then, Eileen. How did the ceremony go last week then? Let's turn to something a little more positive then.
Oh, well, Mike, so much has happened. I don't know if we have a new mayor, and that was a big thing because the city council elections, the city council inauguration was right before the school committee inauguration, where they select the mayor. So now we have Mayor Eric Gitchier. And now, you know how the kids always say 6-7. Now Lowell, it looks like, has a 6-5 vote with the new mayor. So I think it'll be interesting. But you could already tell the divide with the disorganization of how the school committee inauguration was kind of set up, where everybody was always helping you and it was very organized. I was like trying to help the new member that was elected for the school committee, and I feel like I should never be helping somebody be organized when I barely know what I'm doing. But yeah, I think it was a beautiful ceremony. It only lasted about 15 minutes. But yeah, you could tell there's already starting to be a divide within the city, I feel like. Just from going from the city council inauguration to the school committee meeting, and just how that was run with not so much help this year. And I mean, it's my third inauguration, and all of them, my first was at the high school. The second one was at the City Hall chambers, where it was this last time. But it was very different structure 2 years ago at City Hall, much more organized than it was this year, I think. But it was nice.
Did you get a haircut or something?
I did, and I'm trying to like not straighten it and let it be curly, and it's like I don't know. I'm not good with it. It's a bob. It's a bob.
But the good news is there was no black ice today to reach up and throw you down.
Exactly. There was no black ice, and my bruise is getting better from my uncle falling on me in the wheelchair. Back on. Yep.
Yeah, my sister's still out of work from her arm, and she probably will be out for a while still. So, yeah, it's not good.
I know. I always get so afraid because of I'm fused. I have a spinal fusion from my L2 down to my pelvis, right? But falling so many times this year, I think I've learned now over time that's the strongest part of my back. So it would take a lot to affect it. But I'm always so concerned about it. But I'm, knock on wood, I've been very lucky with not getting injured any more than surface level bruises.
Maybe you should take some jujitsu to learn how to fall.
I feel like my life has been a jiu-jitsu class.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, we know that Alan Jackson, Karen Reed's lawyer, is not going to represent Nick Reiner in the case of his murder of his parents.
Because if you shot them, you can't inherit.
That's right. And Alan Jackson wants a 7-figure payoff on this. But I heard on Howie Carr Friday that Karen Reed's car is being sold at auction on Friday, 30 January. J.J. Manning auction?
Oh, you just reminded me. 30th January. My son's birthday is on the 31st.
Oh.
He's going to be 13.
Oh boy.
Too bad.
Teenage.
Yeah. He sleeps so much now, though. It's nice. I'm a big fan. And I get things done during the day, and then I feel I ask people, should I wake him up? What should I, but I think he just needs the sleep right now. And he gets up for school okay, but 30. I'm learning more about auctions because my transmission's going on my car, so I've had to rent a car a few times, but some of the rental cars I really like, and I found out that they sell them at auctions, and I think that's the route I may go when I buy a car because they're reliable, and they're smaller than the car I have now, so less chance of me not parking right with my astigmatism.
I don't think I've bought a new car in over 30 years.
Well, that's smart. You're not supposed to buy new because they depreciate right off the lot.
That's right.
Yeah, and so, I mean, my last car I bought was used, and I liked it until we met a pole one night and crashed, totaled. It's been a year. It's been a year.
You are snake bitten.
I am snake bitten. Yes.
So Howie said that some museum had already offered 6 figures for Karen Reed's vehicle.
I think I mean, honestly, I think she could probably do better than 6 figures if it was an auction and people want to donate to her, especially. I think there's a possibility for her to make a lot more money, which she needs.
Yeah. So I saw in the Sunday edition of the local fish wrapper that the Christchurch United of Lowell sold for $2.7 million.
What's a fish wrapper?
Newspaper. Back in the old days, back before you were born, people would buy fish at the market and they'd wrap it up in a newspaper.
Well, I'm starting a new Cliff vocabulary notebook.
Okay.
Newspaper.
Be good for you. So it's now owned by the All People's Church. It's on about 8/10 of an acre. It was constructed originally in 1846 as the High Street Congregational Church.
Can I say thank you for my gift, and can I open it on TV?
It's just some extra Tupperware.
Tupperware. I'm going to donate it to City Life so people can take things home when people bring treats. I think that's a good idea. but I do like this. Tupperware?
Well,
We have tons, I think.
Okay. So I'll make stuff and put them in there.
Good idea.
So I bought some Tupperware on Amazon and I overbought. No, well.
Well, you're not supposed to tell somebody that about their gift.
So that's the situation. It shows that property still has value in Lowell. So, Eileen, you showed us, John and myself, I don't think you sent it to Mike, a YouTube of a teacher who after 3 years quit, and she was not a happy camper.
No, she was talking about the state of education and how it's just more essentially like kids don't respect, there's no discipline. She was talking about like the lack of the ability to connect even thoughts. Kids just don't have that ability because of the use of ChatGPT, AI, and so forth, and how AI is really taking over our kids. And the human interaction is, and learning and stretching your mind, and that whole growth mindset is out the window with AI.
Well, I was struck by, she gave an assignment out, and one kid turned in an essay, and she back-checked it, and it turned out to be some ChatGPT thing.
100% ChatGPT. I mean...
But what struck me was she confronted the student, and the student said, yeah, can I just take a 0?
Well, yeah, we have a whole generation of kids that just don't care.
Why should you? You don't have to pass anything.
I mean, and they know that. And they know they're going to be super protected because they have all the rights in the world
And
now.
why does the administration charge the taxpayers $17,000 and don't teach the kids? And why does the union let their professionals promote children that can't read?
I agree. I mean...
Got a new word for you. Perennial.
Spell, please.
P-R-E-N...
P-R...
No, P-E-R-E-N...
New
I-A-L, I guess.
New
Mike,
rule.
do you know how to spell perennial?
You can't say it unless you know how to spell it. What does it mean?
Continuous.
Why not say continuous?
Because he wanted to say perennial.
Well, that just confuses the issue.
Perennial is P-E-R-E-N-N-I-A-L.
Sounds right to me.
Yeah, Cliff was right. I don't like to tell him that too much.
Complaint. So there you go.
So what's it going to take for the school department and the union to come clean on this?
Well,
It's going to take the voters to clean house.
The voters aren't coming. The voters just voted. They're not coming. They're staying home.
Yeah, I mean, Jose Cervantes had come to my house on Saturday because there's some work for him to do there, and he was saying in the acre how only during the primary less than 800 people even came out to vote in the acre, and these are areas where we really need representation and we need people to come out, but people don't care because they either like how their life's going and they don't want change, or they just don't care at all. And why would anybody get out and vote or want something different if they're content?
Jack Mitchell told me one time, and the statistics I think bear them out, that homeowners vote, home renters don't. That's why
Well, what about
Belvedere has higher voting, Pawtuckaville has higher voting, Highlands has higher voting, more home ownership.
makes
And
sense.
the people that are just renters, they don't feel invested. I've lived here 31 years, I guess. And I own a house. I feel invested in Lowell. But if I was just a renter with the possibility that I'd be moving on to another rental property, I wouldn't be as invested emotionally.
Now, what if you get free housing through Section 8, free Mass Health, free EBT card? Like, you don't have to worry about anything, so why
worry about anything?
Why, exactly, I know. And it connected to the schools. I mean, I'm debating right now, as most people know, I impulsively quit my job over the summer, which was a bad idea. And I'm faced with going back to work right now, and I'm really trying to think about what's the best role. I mean, I'm obviously a certified special ed teacher, but I know the system's broken, and it really had taken a toll on me over time, over my 20 plus years teaching, and just seeing the shifts of it, and knowing that it's not for lack of being able to teach or to love my students, because I love seeing them grow and progress, and just I've loved every single one of my students. But at the same time, the system's broken. The educational system is broken, and kids just aren't getting what they truly need. And that is a shame. And it's heartbreaking to watch it.
I got two for you to read here.
Discipline problems fall at the feet of the parents. We all had strict parents, not buddies, right? Now, yeah, if a kid has to stay back, then it doesn't reflect well on the teacher. Maybe that's why they don't keep them back. Well, that is a component of it where, like, I heard one point, they wanted to only give teachers raises if they were getting good scores on the MCAS, right? But the MCAS doesn't even align with always the curriculum and where students are in teaching, and so it's so much more than reflecting on the teacher. I mean, we have English language learners, special ed, we have behavioral kids, and it's just a smorgasbord of kids that have serious needs and not enough staff, and curriculums that don't match inner city Lowell demographics kids.
Look, New Hampshire's gone crazy. No more inspection stickers on their cars. So you can drive around with bald tires, broken brake pads. They don't care. There's no inspection for cars in New Hampshire. After a few people get killed, they'll change their way of thinking. In Massachusetts, if you get a rejection sticker on your car, it's the car's fault. Not the driver's fault. It's not the owner's fault. It's the car's fault. So that's why we don't want that car on the road. And Massachusetts falls down on its duty where the city could simply have a big, gigantic coverage of all their electoral races, just simply put, we're not going to pick up your trash anymore. And everybody in public housing is going to have to pay a tax. Yes or no? If people in public housing are going to have to pay for their trash pickup, yes or no? Get out there and vote. Now, that would get people out to vote because they want their trash picked up. And if you don't include the people living in public housing who they don't pay a dime for anything, not picking them, hey, they're down on their luck, good luck to them, but they need to vote.
But and you framed it perfectly well. We live in a state, in a society, in a country that there are no consequences for anything. And we're seeing the impact of that overall now, and it's unfortunate. I mean, even in Mass, they give you a rejection sticker, and you can travel around on that rejected sticker for, I believe it's 2 months now. So why not wait until the very last minute? Or, I mean, there's always an excuse to be okay with it.
Everything's okay.
Everything's
no consequences.
Okay. Yeah. we're just going to smile and say everything's great. We're doing great.
Mike? Any thoughts?
Well, with special ed, it's always tough for teachers. I understand where Eileen's coming from. It just requires so much more energy. And then, when you're talking about students not showing respect in the classroom, part of that is being driven by parents, because parents are coming in and complaining to the principal, the teacher was saying this to my son, or the teacher won't let my child have his phone, or any of these other things, or you need to tell the teacher that my child needs to take the exam so they can get a better grade to get into college, instead of going to their kid and saying, you didn't put the effort in, so this is what happens. If you want a better result, you got to put more effort in. And the teacher's in charge in the classroom, and you need to respect that teacher, because they're there to educate and help you.
Yeah.
So, it's not easy for teachers, and that's why they're having such a struggle getting people to go into that profession, because for the pay you're getting, there's other professions with a lot less stress, and you don't have to deal with all that side stuff.
Right, and I often think that when I go back, my next 45 years of life for me, like when I want to care and I want to make a difference, but I feel like I have to take the fact that I care so much out of the equation, because it's just a heartbreaking situation, and I just never wanted to have that mentality, because I think I should be invested in my work and my job, but it's heartbreaking to be invested in the field of education today.
I think some of the stress to the teachers is they don't always get the backing of the principal, the administration in the school or in the school district.
Right.
It seems that they want to please all these parents and always give in to them, instead of saying, look, you got to be accountable for your child's actions. You got to talk, they got to change too.
Right. No, I saw that highlighted a great deal last year, that administration, it's become a customer service industry of like making parents happy and making sure there's not controversy. I think I shared this. I tested a student, a very smart young lady, and I thought, no way is she going to qualify for this or that. Oh, no. Mom made sure she qualified and was trying to create goals, and then called the special ed director in. I'm like, how can I create a math goal if there's no discrepancy? There's no need for it. Or, it just doesn't make sense. And so now the new goal ideas are executive functioning, to help kids to think about what they're doing and how to plan it out, because they don't even know how to plan things out, and that's what's causing stress and anxiety in a lot of our kids. And now you can get an IEP for that, an individualized education plan. And
well, that's called critical thinking skills, Eileen. And part of that issue is it goes back to the home life, where parents are doing it all for their kids. I'll go schedule this for you. Oh, I'll do this for you. Instead of making the kids. My parents, when I was growing up, they said, this is our expectation. You go to school, we expect you to get B's or higher, and you need to study. If you don't, there's going to be a result to that, at the next, for your report card. And, at home, we had to do chores. And a lot of times these parents, they're working and then they're doing everything. They don't make their kids do anything. And then they send them to their room as a punishment, and the kid has a TV in the room, and they've got a phone, and they've got all this other stuff. So there's no real results to their bad behavior. And then if you yell at your kids, then the kids are going to call the police because you're abusing them.
Listen, I live it every day of my life with my 12-year-old going on 13. It's like saying no is a form of child abuse. When we all grew up, we had to to do, chores, homework, get a job, and be
I've been
accountable.
there, Eileen. I've already been through all that, so I know.
Read these two, Eileen.
I do know that. I've been through it.
When we all grew up, we had to do chores, homework, get a job, be accountable. Our parents blamed us, not society, for all our problems. Jay, if a kid is acting up with no accountability, report it to DSS or welfare department. But then it would overflow the system because, even I asked my son, you need to clean this room. And he works on his own time. And it can take him 2 hours to actually finally do it, but he does it, and I've learned that. Or take out the trash, do this, you know what I mean? But in my head, and the other thing is there's no sense of urgency in these kids. They don't think they have to rush for anything, maybe because my mom and dad had 4 kids in the family, so everything was rush, 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 rush. And today these kids just no sense of urgency.
Read this one, Eileen.
When you have to call 311 to report a pothole in the street, then why would we rely on government for anything? It's true. Oh, John. Go ahead. Sorry, Mike.
No, that's, I feel like, we always, when we were younger, and my grandparents, there's stuff that's good old days. We're talking about the things that make good common sense. And there are parents that are doing this. There are parents that are holding kids responsible. But I think part of that comes from they grew up in a family where you were held responsible. I know my son in New Zealand. I do Messenger. We do a video call because they're so far away in time difference. But I've seen more than once when we're on a call and he told my grandson, "You need to get this done," and he'll stop in the middle of the conversation just a minute, and he'll go over and say, "Hey, I told you it needs to be done now." Now, where did he learn that from? He learned it from me, So, there's accountability there that things are expected. And I think, I don't know why this thing happened with parents, that you got to be your buddy and your friend with your kid. You can do that when they're adults, but when they're kids, they have to have boundaries and they have to have guidelines.
Right.
That's how they learn to mature.
Oh,
it's tough to do it.
My favorite saying is, my sisters say, my nickname's Dee Dee. Dee Dee, he's your son, he's your child, not your student. I was like, I think I know that I gave birth to him. I do. But a part of being a parent is teaching them and giving them those guidelines, boundaries, and structure. And that was just embedded in me. And it's just so crazy because you can't win as a parent today. Or I don't know if it's even win. It's more like instill some good values. Like when I was my son's age, I had a paper route. I would work, I worked in my church's rectory. I worked in an insurance agency. I always, and our parents taught us to get to work as soon as possible, and that was embedded in us. And
could it be related to family size?
I do. I think family size and having a 2-parent family household is huge.
I was thinking of multiple children.
Oh, more than one.
If you have multiple children, they play together.
Cliff, can you drag that mic closer to you?
Yes. Or maybe I should drive my chair closer to the mic. But
can you rub the top? I don't know if it's dead or not. That's dead. Do another mic. Did you just get new batteries on that one, Cliff?
No, that was a different one that I got new batteries on. This is
just
my
turn it on
third.
its side like the other one. Good.
It's my third dead phone today.
Well, it's Monday.
I know. So anyway, if you have brothers and sisters, you play with them. They're your friends. But now with fewer children, the children are learning friendship from the parents and not from the brothers and sisters.
Right, and they're learning, and what parents are walking on eggshells trying to be their friends instead of being a parent and giving them those boundaries. When my son says, I hate you, I said, good. I'm doing my job then. Thank you. Like, you're not supposed to be their friend. Like, they are supposed to get mad and frustrated because, especially like at my son's age, it's that, whatever Eric Erickson's each stages of development, he's working for his autonomy right now and becoming his own. And it's that battle between being a kid and wanting to find who you truly are. And so it's a struggle, and I understand it developmentally, but how hard is it just to listen to a basic instruction? And I make it as simple as possible. Oh, no, I didn't. Home run over the green monster, Mike. Kids learn from their parents. If you don't care, they don't care. Jay. Did Miss Delrossi bring in any donuts? We need some good news. I didn't, because after I forgot my son's donut at Dunkin's, I went back. I was like, you know what? I'm going to City Life. I'm going to reset my day and pretend this didn't happen. I didn't want to screw anything else up.
Okay, so speaking of resetting.
Okay, resetting.
You used the word smorgasbord. Can you explain that to John?
It's a smorgasbord, just a mix of everything. Like,
It's a buffet.
we're going to a buffet tonight.
Right.
A buffet of various elements, like a smorgasbord of...
It's a German buffet.
Okay.
Golden Corral.
Golden Corral.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
You're welcome to come, 5:30.
Now,
It's the little things in life that...
I'm home with the recovering at 5:30. So,
I think that we are forgetting the cell phone addiction. That's
Yeah.
a global problem. It can be fixed in a heartbeat. Thank you, Lori Trahan, for doing nothing about this. And it's just, you contact the FCC and you say, look, there are no addicting apps allowed in America. You have an addicting app, you have 90 days to get it unaddicted. And if you can't unaddict it, it's got to be deleted. End of story. These apps are all out there with the FCC's permission. If you don't have the FCC's permission, you can't put your app out there.
You're right. I mean,
Thank you, Lori Trahan. Nice job, Elizabeth Warren and Ed Markey. A round of applause. Let's give you a long contract.
yesterday, the Buffalo Bills snatched a victory from the jaws of defeat. How was the 3-hour roller coaster ride, Mike? For Mike, Denver might be at the end of the road.
Yeah, I have to, we always joke with our neighbors down here. We said, if you hear screaming coming out of our house on Sundays, we're not yelling at each other, we're screaming at the TV. I mean, it's just, the Bills never make it easy for you to watch one of their games. All the games were fairly tight, though. I mean, that I saw in the playoffs. New England, I saw New England won too. So we could end up having the Bills playing New England again if they beat Denver and New England wins in their next round. So it'll be interesting what happens. But we take it one game at a time with Denver, and I think they can beat Denver. But it all depends on which defense shows up. So.
what did Kathy say?
What does Kathy say about it? She's trying to turn down her phone.
I couldn't hear only two earbuds. I'm trying to hear the whole conversation.
Yeah. So, Kathy, they want to know what you say about the Bills.
Well, they better win.
She said they better win.
It's Heart Attack City here on the weekend.
Yeah, she said Heart Attack City on the weekend. So we'll see.
Can you read this one? Then we'll go back to Cliff.
The defense always scares us.
Yeah, the defense. I don't know. We'll see. I didn't check to see what time they're playing next week, but I'm doing the soccer tournament, so that's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I may end up listening to the game on the way home then, if that's the case, depending on what time they're playing. So
Back-to-back home runs, comrade. The parents are equally as bad on their cell phones. Ugh.
That's why I say no addicting, not just for children, no addicting apps are allowed. And if your app is addicting, it's not allowed to be broadcast.
I try to be very aware of that. Even I can go down a rabbit hole, on my phone and YouTube shorts or whatever, just funny things, or I'm listening to it. But I'm really cognizant of snapping out of it because I don't want to get addicted. I feel like it's so easy too, and it's like life is more important than what's on these things, and functioning.
But yet, addiction is pervasive in society.
Now, when you say pervasive, what do you mean by that, Cliff?
I mean, it's everywhere.
Addiction?
Yeah, you've got alcohol addiction, you've got drug addiction, you've got the cell phone addiction, people playing computer games, gamblers.
Now there's even gambling on phones.
Oh, wonderful.
The cell phone addiction is purely created by AI. And all you have to do is just say you can't do that no more. Your app cannot be addicting. Alcohol, we're not going to go away because you know what? We need the tax money. Massachusetts, we need the tax money on everything. But you know what, Massachusetts, you're not taxing any app. You're not going to lose a red cent. So tell Lori Trahan, Elizabeth Warren, and Ed Markey to tell the FCC, stop with these addicting apps. Nothing to lose. It's AI generated. There's a computer out there figuring, how can I make Eileen watch the phone more than she's watching it? That's what's going on.
But what is it about Eileen, designated victim? What is it about Eileen that phone apps are addictive?
Honestly, for me, it's a escape from life and reality, right? And so isn't that what addiction is? It's an escape from life and reality, no matter what form it is.
How often do you look at your cell phone? You get a report once a week from Apple.
Oh yeah, the screen time.
Huh.
What's your screen time report?
I haven't looked at that recently.
Oh, when it comes, take a look at it. See how many hours you spend on your phone. And then tell me you're not addicted to it.
I check it in the morning. It's sort of like the UK wants to ban Elon Musk's X, but yet Grok is now the #1 productivity app in the UK, and X is now the #1 news app in the UK. So the UK wants to ban it. That doesn't make sense to me. I'm looking for the third way.
It does make sense, Cliff, if you want to control what the population gets for information, so that you can shape the way people see things.
We know that Eileen has
Broncos Saturday.
Eileen has an addiction. She's looking at her phone right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm always looking at my phone if my mother is calling, if my son needs something, whatever, because I'm just anxious, right? And so I always want to be on or readily available, but that's my own issues, right? Because there's a thing as being too much on and over available, and that's something I need to work on. Like when I was younger, my parents would go out and there would be no cell phones, and we lived for a couple of hours without my parents, with a babysitter who knew where they were, and the phone number was there if an emergency. But I mean, I think it's done a number on anxiety and people with, like, I don't know, control issues. I don't know if it's that or I'm just anxious. I just want to make sure that everyone's okay, and I think it's bad for that type of personality too, because it causes me to work, like, look at my phone, and at the end of the day I forget to make sure I'm okay.
Speaking of beat, go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say, I tend to, when I'm not doing something, I tend to read a lot of articles on the phone, because I'm not always in front of a TV and that. So I can scroll through and read an article or see a short, newscast. So I tend to use my phone more for that. Than I don't play apps or anything like that. I mean, I have an app on my phone I use when I walk every morning that tells me, how many steps and what my pace was and all that. That's about the only app I use, as far as, on a regular basis. I have other ones like when I go on the cruise or, some other things like that. But I tend to read mostly news articles just to keep up with what's going on.
That's like in Playboy. I only look at the articles. I don't look at any of the pictures. Eileen, you want to read this one?
How else would I be able to text the best morning show in the Merrimack Valley without my cell phone, Jay? Good point. I mean, I don't even think we can't even fully comprehend how truly addicted we are in different ways to this.
Drag the mic closer to you.
When I don't have my phone, which I've forgotten plenty of times, but the amount of times I go to look for it is ridiculous because it's like your safety and security blanket today.
I want to change topics as we head into the end. State Senator Cynthia Cream.
Her last name is Cream?
Creem.
All right. That's interesting. Cynthia Cream.
Yeah, is pushing a bill to seek to reduce personal vehicle driving miles across Massachusetts in order to meet state climate goals. That's a question?
So she's trying to limit how much personal drivers drive in the state of Massachusetts?
Yes.
Not for work, but personal use?
Not to limit, but to reduce.
Only for personal use, not for work?
No, I think that includes for work.
So
vehicle driving miles across Mass. An act aligning the Commonwealth's transportation plan with its mandates and goals for reducing emissions and vehicle miles traveled.
How does the Speaker of the House feel about this, Cliff?
I have no idea.
He's the only one who counts. If it's going to pass, it's all on him.
Well, I thought it was the President of the Senate was the one with the...
Who wants to have this driving restriction? The governor.
Well, we have the senator wants to have it.
Is he the head of the Senate?
No, she is not.
Then it doesn't count. How does the head of the Senate feel about it?
That's a very slippery slope. I've been through that in New York when they started limiting what kind of oils restaurants could, as far as what they could use. And then, everybody kind of joked about that. But then they went and the size of sodas and, a whole bunch of other stuff. It's just a slippery slope. If you give them an inch and they're going to take a mile because they figure, well, I was able to do this, so let's see if they'll allow me to do this next thing. And I don't even know if that would hold up in court if they tried to pass that, with telling you got to drive less miles.
Well, I'm not sure how they're going to do this, except by doing a better job with transportation. But our transportation is not
It's when you get your sticker.
heading in the right
They have to write the
direction.
mileage down of your car. That's how they're going to get you, when you get your sticker.
What are they going to do?
Okay, let's say, for instance, your car this year has 54,900 miles on it. Your inspection sticker, and you can only drive 12,000 miles a year. And next year, you're going for your sticker that says 80,000 miles. They're going to fine you. Real easy.
Another
The
way
governor's
for the
not even
state-
there. The guy at the inspection station is going to say, Cliff, you owe me $400.
So it's easier to take it.
That's how it's going to work.
Ah.
John, I text you a picture of that black thing. I text you a better one that was in the middle of my road that is supposed to be traffic calming or to slow people down. And looking at it from my own eye, it just doesn't look safe. And they put that in the middle of the street where there's a speed hump. And
Did you see Channel 5's video of the speed hump?
No.
Oh, I got to get that out there. I'll get that out there in a second. All right, let me put your thing out there first. I'm trying to get tomorrow's guest because time is running short. It's coming, the speed of government. Here it goes. What's that thing, Eileen?
Oh, we don't see it on the screen here.
Oh, I thought Mike's picture was up there, sorry.
Right, so that was in the middle of my street, like where a speed hump is. I don't know if it's supposed, and I Google lensed it, and it says it has to do with traffic calming. I don't understand. That looks like a danger.
Don't know.
And I put it up against my wall, because it just didn't look right.
Okay. I agree. It doesn't look right.
Were you saying, Eileen, you thought it was for counting traffic?
Calming traffic, where there was
calming.
Yeah, and New Year's morning, I saw it on the street, and I was like, did some part of somebody's car come off? I couldn't figure it out. So I used the Google Lens to snap a picture and figure out what it was, and it is to slow traffic down. But it just, I was like, no, the city wouldn't do that. And Cliff said, yes. They've done it in Belvedere.
Yeah. But I haven't seen that device.
All right, thank you.
But we do have speed humps. Except they put them in Fairmount, then they took them out.
The spiky ones, right?
No, they just little humps.
I know on Wentworth, there were spiky speed humps that were asphalt. Looked kind of like when you get a rental car and the spikes are up and right or down or whatever. But then they changed it out to the regular speed humps. Diversity, equity, and inclusion in the city of Lowell.
Yeah. So
tomorrow, City Life, we got Marty Lowry's going to be the host. Let's see. Bob Hoey's going to be here. Tommy Bowman's going to be here. Francisco Maldonado. And the special guest is Karen Casella. She's coming tomorrow. And let me see if I can get you this video on Channel 5. Internet's going a little slow. But this guy hit a speed bump with his car. And it flung his car in the air, and he hit a bunch of houses on the street. So it's just something Lowell's got to learn a lesson to. We ain't going to show it today.
Was this in
He
Lowell?
must have been going pretty fast.
Yeah, but still. I've never seen such an episode.
In the city? In Lowell?
No, it wasn't in Lowell.
No,
But it was on Channel 5.
Not going to come on. We're already past 8 o'clock, so hang in there for a second. We'll get it up there.
So, Mike, thank you for joining us.
All right, here it is, kids. Watch this.
Yep, and next, do we have a podcast next Monday? Because I believe next Monday's Martin Luther King Day, right?
Nope, we ain't going to have nothing. We're off.
Oh, we're off Monday? Why?
Can you guys see that car?
Yeah.
Now, if I draw it back to its beginning, you see him. He hits a speed bump, and watch the speed bump. Speed bump to the left. It's the second shot. You'll see it.
It's a miracle he's alive.
Yep. Speed bump, lifts the rear. And that's what happened to his car. Speed bump. That's on Channel 5. I saw it this morning watching it.
Note to self, do not get that car when shopping for a new car.
Drive it a little slower.
Yeah.
You want ice anything?
So say goodbye, kids.
Goodbye, kids.
Okay.
Happy Monday, everybody.
Well,
Bye,
so I'll
Mike.
see you in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Thanks, Mike. Bye, Kathy.
All right.